everyone, welcome back to CBSE Learners. This is me Pooja K. Rao. Today I have come up with the grammar class. Okay, so the most requested video is this. So many of you have requested me to make a video on detailed video on active and passive voice. Okay, so today I thought let's make a detailed video on active and passive voice. So before I go into the video, I would like to ask all of you and to request all of you that to subscribe my channel so that I can make more informational video like this. Okay, so if you have not still subscribed my channel, go and subscribe it and come back so that we can start our class together. So let's start our class without further wasting any time. Okay, so active and passive voice, it is actually known as voice change. Okay, so it is one of the most important part of English grammar. Now what does it do? It actually deals with the relationship. Okay, it deals with the relationship and it talks of a relationship between the action done by a verb and the subject or the object on whom the action is done. Okay, who takes part in that action. So when an action is done, what happens? Subject or object, both they take part in that action, isn't it? Without subject, without object, you cannot do any work or the verb cannot play its function, isn't it? So for the action to be performed, we require a subject. Obviously, we need one subject and then we require one object. Okay, so let's first start the definition. Now, definition of voice change. First is the definition of voice change. Okay, voice of a verb. First, we need to know what is the voice of a verb. Okay, so this is the part of an English grammar which talks about the relationship between the action done by the verb and the subject or the object which takes part in the action. Okay, so it talks of the English grammar which talks of about the relationship between the action done by the verb and the subject or the object which takes part in the action. Now, for example, let's take one example. Okay, one simple example. Let's take, she ate 4 ice creams yesterday. Okay. So here we can see that the focus is on she, which is the object. She ate 4 ice creams yesterday. So when we see that the focus is on the subject, we call the voice to be in active voice. Okay, so this is an active voice. Why? Because in case of active voice, the focus should be on the subject. Now here the focus is on the subject who is performing the work. Okay, who is doing the work, that she ate ice cream, 4 ice creams yesterday. Now when the focus is on the object or the work done, okay, so at that time we can call the voice of the verb to be in passive voice. Okay, for example, let's change this one. 4 ice creams were eaten by, or you can say eaten yesterday by her. So you can write this yesterday after by her, or you can write before also. Okay, 4 ice creams were eaten yesterday by her. Okay. So here you can see that the focus is on the object, which was, see, in the first sentence the object were the 4 ice cream, isn't it? But in the second sentence we can see that the focus, the ultimate focus is on the 4 ice creams. 4 ice creams were eaten yesterday by her. So here the voice is in passive voice. Okay, when the focus is on the subject or the work done, that is, the voice of the verb should be in passive voice. Okay, so from this example you have understood what is active voice and what is passive voice. So let's learn the active voice and passive voice. Okay, definition. Then we will start learning how to convert active voice into passive voice with the help of formulas. Okay, so first I should give you the definition of active voice. Okay, when the focus is on the subject or who is doing the work, doing the action, the voice of the verb should be active voice. Okay, for example, this one, the first one, she ate 4 ice creams yesterday. She ate 4 ice cream yesterday. Now comes the passive one. Okay, now passive voice. Passive voice. Okay, now when the focus is on the object or on whom the action has been done, on the object or on whom the action has been done, the voice is to be in passive voice. Okay, means the voice of the verb here. Okay, 1 minute, I will mention clearly, then it will be better for you. Has been done, the voice of the verb is to be in passive voice. Okay, for example, 4 ice creams were eaten by her yesterday, or you can say yesterday by her. Okay, 4 ice creams were eaten yesterday by her, or you can say 4 ice creams were eaten by her yesterday. Okay, now let's see this one. So one thing, have you noticed, when we have converted the same sentence into the passive voice, what we have kept in our mind? We have just kept that the tense and the verb. Okay, so see, when the action, why we should remind the tense? Because the tense in which the verb is there, we have to always remind it, because in the passive voice it should be in the same tense. Okay, and next, the thing most important is we should see whether the verb is finite verb or not, whether it is transitive verb or not. Why? Because in case of transitive verb, the action passes from the subject to the object. Okay, so if here the action is not passed from the subject to the object, then we cannot change the voice. So first thing you should always keep in your mind, you should have a proper knowledge of tense before doing the active and passive voice, and you should always have a proper knowledge of verb forms. The verb should be finite. And now if you are confused that if you have any sort of confusion about the verb and tense, so you can follow the tense. We have already made video on tense and verb. You can follow that. Okay, we will give the link in the description box. Okay, we have made part by part. Even the modals, even the auxiliaries, all are very important in your active and passive voice. So we have a separate video on that. You can check that videos out. Okay, so let's start with the transformation. Okay, conversion from active to passive. So first things, what things are important for conversion, we will write down. Okay. Now, first important things before converting. Important things to remember. Okay. First one is should to notice the tense of the verb, the verb should be in finite form. Okay, next one will be to know the auxiliaries, that is helping verb, we need to know this, and be verbs, that is, am, are, was, were. Okay, and should know the past participle forms of verb. The forms of verb. Okay, so these things you should always remember before converting active to passive. Okay, so first thing is to notice the tense of the verb. The verb should be in finite form, that is, it should be in transitive verb. It should be a transitive verb. To know the auxiliaries, that is helping verb, and be verbs like is, am, are, was, were, and should know the past participle form of verb. All the verb forms, mostly we use the past participle form, isn't it? So let's start changing. Now I will first start with the simple present tense. Each tense I will give with each sort of sentences like assertive, negative, interrogative, and negative interrogative. So I will give examples, one from each segment of the sentences and from each tenses. Okay, so let me start with the first one, that is simple present tense or present indefinite. Okay, so let's start. Simple present tense. Okay, that is present indefinite, or so we can call present indefinite. Now let me take first one. I will give you one affirmative sentence. Okay, affirmative. Now what is affirmative sentences? Those are all positive sentences or statements are known as affirmative sentences. Okay, so in case of affirmative sentence, let me take I like tea. Very common example. Okay, so this is a affirmative sentence. I like tea. Now we can see this is the sub. In this sentence, the focus is on I. Who is liking the tea? I like tea. So we can say that this is active voice. The sentence is in active voice. Okay. Now let's construct the formula from this sentence. The most important thing is the subject plus this is the verb. Now which form of verb this is? It is actually a main verb, finite verb, and This verb is in which tense? The which form? This is in main verb. Okay. Main verb in present form. Some people likes to call it the first form of verb. Okay. So to make you more clear, I say present form. Plus this is T is the object. In case of affirmative sentence, I hope this is extremely and very clear to you. This is main verb in present form. So you can call it first form plus object. Now if I need to convert it into passive, what should I do? So the focus should be on the object. Which is the object here? T. So let me bring T first. T. Now we have to see in which tense this is. This is in which tense? This is in simple present. So we have to add one be verb, isn't it? When we have to convert it. So what will be the be verb? T. Now T is in singular form. So we can use T is. Okay, T is actually not countable, isn't it? So we call it as singular. So T is liked. Now we have to use the past participle form. T is liked. Now we have to add the by. By. Now we cannot use I na. Instead of I, we have to use the personal pronoun be or me or relative pronoun me. Okay. So we have to use the me personal pronoun. So here I is a pronoun. It's also personal pronoun, and we cannot say that T is liked by I. Isn't it? I is always we use if to use it as subject. So when we are converting, we have to use another form of personal pronoun of I, that is me. Okay. So T is liked by me. Now how we can construct the formula from this sentence? So you can see in this sentence here the focus is on T. We are saying about T. T is liked by me. So here we are giving focus on T. So we can call it as the voice of the verb is in passive voice. Okay. Now see, T is liked by me. Let's construct the formula from this sentence. The first thing is should be object. Okay. Plus one be verb. Now if in place of T there is something which is plural in form, then you can use the plural be verb like are. Okay. If here something like I, they or something like that, then you can use am. But here the verb is, the object is T. T now. Okay. So it is in singular, isn't it? T is not countable. So we consider it as singular. So we are using is, which is the part of be verb. Be form of verb. Okay. So be form of verb. That is, I am explaining clearly. I am writing. It can be is or are or am. In case of simple present. If it was in past tense, then you can use was or were. But in case of simple present, you have to use is, are or am, because these are the present form of be verb. Okay. Plus liked. Now liked is in which verb form? It is the past participle form of verb. Liked, liked, liked. It can be the past and it can be the past participle. But in case of voice change, we have to use the past participle form of verb. So we are using past participle form of verb. Plus by plus what? Every time we just confuse, we write the object once again. But it's not object, it's the subject. Okay. So in case of affirmative, positive or statements, first if you have to construct a sentence in active voice, you have to use subject plus main verb in present form plus object. Okay. If you are using this as T is liked by me, okay, when you are converting, you have to bring the object first with the be form of verb. Now which be form of verb will go with the object? You have to consider that. You have to think about that. If the object is in singular, then you have to use the singular verb, auxiliary. If be form. If the object is in plural, you have to use the plural, auxiliary or be form. Okay, plus past participle form of verb. Some people likes to call it third form, but to make you most clear, because first form, second form, third form might be it will be some confusing for you. So clearly to mention the past participle form of verb, plus by plus subject. Okay, so this is in case of affirmative sentence. Okay, so in case of negative sentence, now we will take the same example, okay, and we will convert it into negative. Now what is a negative sentence? Negative sentence is when we add not or no with any sentence that is giving you a sense of negation or negativity. That is negative sentence. So let me take the example of a negative sentence, okay. Negative sentence. Now let me take the same example. I do not like tea. So you can see the same sentence. So this is in active voice because the focus is on the subject I. I do not like tea. Okay. So this is in active voice. The voice of the verb is in active voice. So how to construct the formula for negative sentence? I is the subject plus do not or does not, depending on the subject. If here we will use she, if we will use the singular third person singular number as subject, then we will use the does not. Okay, but as we are using I, which is the first person singular number, only in case of third person singular number we add s, isn't it? So here we are using the first person singular number, that is I. So we are using I do not. So if it is he or she or any name which is in third person singular number, then we would have used does not. Okay, plus the main verb. This is the main present form of verb plus object. Which is the object? T is the object. Here subject is I, object is T. Now in case of passive voice, how we will convert? We will first take the object which is T. Okay. Now we will take the object. Now T is in third person singular number, isn't it? Or you can say it is singular, not person. T is not a person, but T is in singular number. Okay, so because why T is singular? Because we cannot count, it's like uncountable. So T is not liked by me. I will tell why T is not liked by me, because T is the subject. Now how we can construct the formula? T is the object. Okay, so object plus now be form. We need be form, isn't it, to convert it into passive. So be form. Now be form of verb, that is, are or am. Now be form will depend on which be form we should use, will depend on the subject or the object. In case of passive it should depend on the object, and in case of active it should depend on the subject. Okay, plus not. Okay, in case of passive voice you have to add here not. In case of negative sentence, okay, in case of negative sentence you have to add not. Plus past participle form of verb, plus past participle form of verb, plus by plus me or the subject. Okay, so object plus be form of verb plus not plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so I hope negative sentence is also clear to you. Next we will move forward to the interrogative sentence. So first we will use the positive interrogative, then we will use the negative interrogative. So let me see the pause. Now what are interrogative sentences? Let's revise. Interrogative sentences are those sentences with question tags and they always ask questions. So when we ask question to someone, those are interrogative sentences. So usually we ask, do you like tea? So that is a positive. Do you like tea? That is a positive interrogative sentence. So let me take that example. Okay. So first positive interrogative. Okay. Positive interrogative. Okay. In case of so, the do you like tea? Okay. So here do you. So the focus is on you. We are asking question. Do you like tea? So we are focusing on you. That is the subject. Like tea is the object. So this is an active voice. Okay. Now how we can construct the formula? First we have to use do or does. If here is does she like tea? If she is there means we'll use does she like tea? Okay. Or plus do or does plus subject plus present form of main verb, present form of verb plus object. Okay, this is in case of active voice. Now if we want to convert this, then how we will convert? First we'll take the object and before object we have to use some question tags. So we can use be forms to make question sense, isn't it? Like if someone says, is tea liked by you? So that is what? That is be form. We can use was or is, isn't it? We have while converting into interrogative sentences, main sentences, we have several times used is or was, isn't it? So we can easily use in case of simple present is or are, isn't it? So let's take that is tea liked by you? Okay, so both are making same sense. Okay, but the difference is here the focus is on tea. Is tea liked by you? And in the first sentence we are saying that do you like tea? So first one we are focusing on you. Do you like tea? Next in the second in passive we are focusing on is tea liked by you? Okay, so in this one this is a passive voice. Passive voice. So here we are using the first the be form of verb plus object, or we can say here first let me make it clear or else you will be confused, is or are or am. Okay, plus object plus past participle form of verb, past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. That is you with question tag. Okay. Now in this one also we have to use question tag because in case of always questions we instead of full stop we use question tags, isn't it? Question mark. So let me first check this one whether it is okay. Is plus object plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so I am also human being, sometimes I also just get confused, isn't it? So this is okay. This is the passive voice. This is in case of positive interrogative. Now in case of negative interrogative, what we'll do? We'll simply add not with this one, isn't it? Do you not like tea or don't you like tea? Is tea not liked by you? So this is the same example. Okay, so let's convert. It will be fun, isn't it? So do you like tea? We will erase this and we'll do you not like tea or don't you like tea? Isn't tea liked by you? Or if you are using do you not, then is tea not liked by you? Okay, so let me see. Do you not like tea. Okay, so this is in active voice. So in case of negative interrogative, we should erase this one also, isn't it? Negative interrogative. So do you not like tea? Yes, I like tea. Okay, so we have to use first a do or does plus subject plus not plus present form of verb plus object, then question mark. Okay, plus question. So let's check do. Okay, subject is you, not like tea. Okay, so this is correct. Next we will see the passive voice. How to convert it passive voice? Same thing, we'll take the be form to ask the question in passive voice. That is. Now see, some people prefer to ask, do you not like tea? Some people ask, don't you like tea? So if don't there, you use isn't. Isn't tea liked by you? If you are using do you not, then use is tea not liked by you. Okay, so is will bring the subject object first, is tea, then we'll use not, then we'll use not like, then we'll use the past participle form of the main verb, that is liked. Okay, liked, is tea not liked by you. So if the question is do you not like tea, then you can convert it into passive like is tea not liked by you. If the question is don't you like tea, then the question will be isn't tea liked by you. Okay, so how we will use the be form, that is am, are, should be used as question asking part, and then the object plus not plus past participle form of verb, past participle form of verb plus by plus subject plus question mark in case of interrogative sentence. Okay, so I hope you understood, and this one is in passive. So I hope you this simple present tense is clear to you. Now in case of simple present tense, all these examples will be useful for you. This is